Welcome to the Head and Neck Oncology Journal Club. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down a landmark study that challenges everything we thought we knew about safe alcohol consumption. The study, published in BMJ Global Health in December 2025 by Grace George and colleagues from the Tata Memorial Center, is titled Association of Alcohol and Different Types of Alcoholic Beverages on the Risk of Buccal Mucosa Cancer in Indian Men. Let's set the stage. Buccal mucosa cancer is the predominant form of oral cancer in India, with roughly 144,000 new oral cancer cases diagnosed each year. The 5-year survival is only 43%. While we've long known tobacco is a major driver, the role of alcohol, particularly locally brewed varieties, has been poorly understood. This multicentric case control study enrolled 1,803 histologically confirmed Buccal mucosa cancer cases and 1,903 controls from 5 major cancer centers across India between 2010 and 2021. What makes this study remarkable is its comprehensive assessment of 11 internationally recognized liquors like beer, whiskey, and rum, plus 30 locally brewed liquors including Desidaru, Thara, Mahua, and Toddy. So what did they find? First, the headline result: ever users of any alcohol had a 68% increased risk of buccal mucosa cancer compared to never users, with an odds ratio of 1.68. But here's what's really striking. Even consumption of less than 9 grams of alcohol per day showed a significantly elevated risk, with an odds ratio of 1.56. To put that in perspective, 9 grams is less than one standard drink. The US and Europe define a standard drink as 10 to 14 grams of alcohol. This study shows that even sub-threshold consumption increases cancer risk. Looking at specific beverages, beer showed an odds ratio of 1.91, whiskey was 1.78, and Desidaru, a common locally brewed spirit, was 1.84. But the standout was Thara, a locally produced hard liquor, with an odds ratio of 3.09. The elevated risk for locally brewed liquors likely reflects contamination with toxic byproducts like methanol and acetaldehyde from unregulated production. Now, the tobacco interaction. This is clinically crucial. The study found a statistically significant synergistic effect between alcohol and chewing tobacco. Among never tobacco chewers, more than 9 grams of alcohol per day gave an odds ratio of 2.66. Chewing tobacco alone gave an odds ratio of 2.44, but combined, the odds ratio jumped to 4.86, greater than additive, indicating true biological synergy. The proposed mechanism: ethanol alters the lipid content of oral epithelium, increasing permeability to carcinogens in smokeless tobacco. The interaction p-value was highly significant at 0.0053. From an attributable fraction perspective, 62% of cases could be attributed to the combination of alcohol and chewing tobacco. The population attributable fraction for alcohol alone in India was 11.3%, with significant regional variation from 0.3% in Lakshadweep to over 26% in Arunachal Pradesh. What are the clinical implications? First, there is no safe level of alcohol consumption for buccal mucosa cancer prevention. Risk starts at very low doses, even less than 2 grams per day for beer. Second, locally brewed liquors pose particular danger due to unregulated production and contamination. This has important policy implications for India, where these beverages dominate rural consumption. Third, the tobacco-alcohol interaction means prevention efforts targeting both substances simultaneously could eliminate roughly 2/3 of buccal mucosa cancer cases. The study has limitations, including potential recall bias around alcohol consumption, which is still socially stigmatized in India. The investigators addressed this through trained interviewers, regional beverage specific questioning, and re interview validation, showing 84% reproducibility. The bottom line: when counseling patients about oral cancer risk, especially in the Indian context where buccal mucosa predominates, the message is clear. There is no safe alcohol threshold, and the combination with tobacco is particularly dangerous. That's your Journal Club summary for this week. Check the show notes for the full reference and figures. Until next time.